Hey, welcome back. It's been a while since I did a video. Uh, wow, damn. It's been a month plus since I stopped making videos. And, I've been just hovering around casually, missing events, not doing certain things. I came back to DOS, its name is now uh, GFY. um, yeah, I just came back for a while to do MT, the Mythic Titan, and they removed the Mythic Titan. I can probably try and just video edit this to flash the results that I got um, in the Mythic Titan. I probably had I could probably do something with video editing. I might try something new since I do have some time right now. Didn't really make it to the top 100 in individual hit or total score. I came very close though, and it was my first time using Gastile in Mythic Titan. Ever since I got him for free actually in the Super Elemental Portal, which was a really big surprise there. But yeah, happy that I did pretty well in Mythic Titan. And we managed to get, I think we were top 20, I think, if I'm not mistaken, top 20 in Mythic Titan. You'll see that in the clip that I'm gonna flash out once I figure out how to do the video editing. But the more important thing is that we have something new in the uh, world of Empires and Puzzles, something that will, I would say, benefit free-to-play players a lot, especially since some of those important heroes came out during the Fated Summons. So welcome to the Visiting Outfitter. Now the visiting Outfitter is something similar to the Soul Exchange, where you get to pick one costume that you do not have and essentially use it for wars, raids, whatever you want to use in your day-to-day activities in Empires and Puzzles. You can see there, you can only get costumes that were released more than 549 days before the start of this event, which means there are certain costumes that you do not get to pick based on the heroes that are available. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole of showing you what heroes that are all available for this visiting outfitter, because I'm pretty sure you'll see a lot of other YouTubers and other content creators come up with the all the options basically for this visiting outfitter, and you can actually check it in the forums as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look at a couple of heroes that I think should be, I wouldn't say they are 100% must-haves, but I would say they are almost there. Like you would really want them just to improve the roster at the current state of the meta. Now, what do I mean by current state of the meta? You're seeing a lot of heroes like Bernadette, you're seeing a lot of heroes like Sludges, you're seeing a lot of heroes like some of the Fawn families. I think I can't remember the name. Let me just look back and see. So you're gonna see a lot of like Isabel. I think you'll see a lot. Costume Diao-chan, that's still pretty common out there. Grimsteel, Hathor, Astrid, blah blah blah. And also, yeah, since I'm back here, we went against Changkat for whatever stupid reason that the war match decided to put us in here. We did lose, but honestly, I think 5004 is pretty good considering that we went against 15 Bernadette tanks. And I'm going to have a video out of it soon of my war hits, and I think I did pretty well as well. So you're going to see a lot of that, and I think there are a lot of heroes in the visiting outfitters that will actually help improve your roster, even though there are heroes that are pretty old, I would say. Now obviously 549 days before this event starts, you're likely, I think at most you probably get about season 4 costumes, and not even all of them, I think. So you can see here from the these are the heroes that I have, right? Now, obviously, your heroes may differ from mine. So you can see, like, you could essentially pick Kagan here, or you can pick, season 1 heroes like Leonidas. So if I pick Leonidas, for example, I only have one costume for Leonidas, so I don't have the Toon costume. I do not have the second costume. And if you pick Leonidas, you can see that you can only get the second costume. You won't get the Toons, because the Toons came out less than 549 days before this event started. So you can't get the Toons just yet. Considering the fact that Visiting Outfitter is slated to come out every 2 months, along the road, you might actually get the Toon. So, if you're trying to hedge for that, I don't see why you shouldn't pick someone. Okay, probably not Leonidas, but someone else, like, for example, Vivica, because Vivica is really good. The Toon Vivica is an asshole. Like, you can run costume Vivica for Rush Wars, and she can be a pain in the ass if you do not know how to deal against her. And she's still really good in, like, Rush War offense, tournaments. You can even run her as a flex support in regular wars as well. And then you have all of this. So you see season 4, like Elizabeth. You get Elizabeth, you can get the new costume, which I think is pretty decent. Not the best, but still pretty decent. But I think the ones that you would really want, and there are only a handful of those that you really want to, benefit from getting the costumes. And I think the number one, which I think a lot of top 100 players, top 5, top 100, if you do not have the costume, I really think you should get these costumes. Number 1, Lord Loki. It's a no-brainer. Without the costume, his stats aren't really up to date in order for you to survive him being on offense in your offense team, because a lot of these new heroes tend to hit really, really hard, and with dated stats, you're not going to be able to survive. So having the costume and double limit breaking him will keep him alive. And you would want some form of way to counter Bernadette. You want some way to counter heroes like Sludges, where you can just copy Sludges and your team is pretty much safe for the time being. You can even copy other heroes, whatever heroes that they are on the defense is something that you can benefit from if you have Loki. The other one that I was thinking of, so I'm just going to give like a couple. I mean, it's not all. Now, Black Knight is really interesting. The Autotons are interesting. The only problem is that if you're a player that goes against a lot of Bernadettes, do bear in mind that, well, that's a pun there. Do bear in mind that Bernadette dispels first before she changes everyone into paintings. So realistically, the only taunt that you would want to use is someone like Oniwaka Maru, which was available in Soul Exchange. I actually managed to have Oniwaka Maru at first limit break, but I made him at 25 emblems so that his stats are similar to double limit broken. The other one that I'm looking at is actually, and I think it's available here. Let me see if I have it. No, I don't. Where is it? So you can pick costume Gazelle. So that's the one I wanted to show. Yes. So you can pick costume Guardian Gazelle in this outfitter, this visiting outfitter, and I believe she is the second choice here for most. If you don't have Loki, if you already have Loki, I would think that you would want to get costume Guardian Gazelle. Now, regular Gazelle is a druid. There's no chance of her trying to survive through revive, and if she gets killed early on, she causes a mana cut to some of your heroes. It's not really good, but if you have the costume, then at fighter class, that's so much better. Stats are more updated. I'm using 2 of her right now for my offense teams. Really, really strong, especially against Bernadette. If you get to fire costume Gazelle first, then only costume Gazelle gets turned into a painting, which is still fine. You still have the bulk of your firepower to counter Bernadette, so which is really good. So I think costume Gazelle is another option, a very good option to consider here. I already have the costume for Gazelle, so I'm not going to pick her. I can't pick her actually. So yeah, I think it's really, really strong, and I'm trying to level the third and fourth costume Gazelles myself in order to have more options against Bernadette. The other one that I'm looking at is also costume Panther. Now, the reason why I would say costume Panther is one of the better ones here is if you're going against a lot of sludges, for example. Now, sludges causes dance to happen to sludges allies, and they have a chance to dodge, and every time they dodge, they deal 1,600 to the attacker. Now, if you have Guardian Panther and you get to fire Guardian Panther first before sludges, costume Panther being fast speed and sludges being average, so 50 to 70% of the time you get to fire Panther first, you essentially stop the dance from happening. That way you don't have to worry about the dodge effect, you don't have to worry about the dance effect. Now obviously with the new bards, sludges isn't as potent, but that requires you to do a lot of pooling. And all of these heroes that I've talked about right now, the Panther, Gazelle, and Loki, they are all available either through Soul Exchange previously or through the Fated Summons. So that makes it a bit more viable, a bit more easier to get for free-to-play players. Ideally, for Fated Summons, there's only one or two picks that you would, essentially want. And it's, I would say, honestly, quite simple, quite easy for you to get all the way to 100 each Fated Summon cycle. I don't think it's that difficult. Being free to play myself right now, for the past couple of months, it's still possible for me to hit 100. If you do certain events, you get certain coins along the way, and they've also increased the loot, which is so much better right now. So you're able to achieve that, and that gives you access to all these heroes: Panther, costume Panther, costume Gazelle, costume Loki, and yeah. So that's I think the top three options for you to choose. Honestly, I don't think there are others that come remotely close to these three. The other ones to consider, maybe Lady of the Lake, if you're looking for some rush war firepower, then having the costume stats. Obviously you're going to use the regular side, you're not going to use the costume version, obviously. So if you use the regular side and you have the costume stats, it's going to be pretty good as well. The other one I think would be the Autotons, for example. What else? I think that's about it. Like, there's not many others that I would consider. Like, I would have considered using Poseidon, like costume Poseidon, if the ailment block had been undispellable. That way it's a counter against Bernadette, but since it's not undispellable, then there's no point. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any other hero that I would consider. I don't think there's any others. I mean, you can consider Guinevere, for example, if you're if you want to join the Guinevere wars. But yeah, I don't think it's worth it at all. Freya and Bera are okay, but again, they are not really strong minions, although you can kind of depend on the passives and whatsoever to be kind of annoying, but that's hoping that they die, which is not really something that you would want anyways. So yeah, I think that's about it. The other one, okay, for Titans, I guess you can choose Athena, but I would not choose costume Athena over Loki, Gazelle, or Panther. I think Loki, Gazelle, or Panther are the no-brainer top three picks. Like, those help you everywhere. I mean, Panther, the regular side is good for Titans. The costume side, good for wars, good for tournaments. Loki, whichever side you use is going to be great in wars, especially against Bernadette. Gazelle, again, everywhere. You can use for Titans, you can use for events, you can use for wars. Yeah, so that's about it. And the only thing that I can see is maybe looking at certain season 1 costumes and trying to complete the second costume before you let the visiting outfitter come in the later months and let them grant you access to obtaining the tunes. Like for example, something that I would consider if I already had Loki, Panther, and Gazelle was to pick something like maybe Vivica and hope that I draw I get the tune somewhere off in the next visiting outfitter in the months to come. So that's something that I can consider. So yeah, I hope this helps you, and yeah, I plan to do a little bit more videos. I'm not gonna be returning to active play much, probably just play here and there, but I am still keeping up with the meta right now, and I can tell you the meta right now is absolutely disgusting, in the top 100 I think. So you're gonna see me fumble along the way and probably have a look at some of these metas that are evolving right now. And yeah, hopefully you guys join me in my journey of looking at these metas and laughing at how bad I fumble through my war hits. I'm gonna do something different for the upcoming war video that I have. So hope to see you guys, and hope you guys like the video. Alright, I'll catch you guys on the next one. GG.